All right, so today I wanted to share a story with you guys, all right? This story is about how making a remix like completely changed and shifted my career in a positive direction. And I'm kind of curious how many of you guys have attempted remixes, or if that's even interesting to you guys. So let me know what your experiences are with remixes. I know there's a lot of people that find remixes challenging, as well as making an original remix, but it doesn't have to be all that challenging. So this is not like a remix tutorial here or whatever. I'm not going to teach you how to make one, but I want to motivate you to learn how to remix because it can be incredibly powerful if done correctly. All right. So with my story, I've got to admit that some luck was involved, but at the end of the day, isn't that how it always is? Luck is really just about consistently putting yourself in the right place at the right time over and over and over until one of these times something cuts through, right? So let's see here. So way back in the day, early 2000s, I was working with a partner under the name Interstate. So we were doing kind of progressive house, tech house, a little bit of trance influences at the time. And at the time, like everyone was making songs at 140 beats a minute. So we wanted to be real slow. So we made songs at 132 and 134, which now seems kind of crazy and ridiculous. But yeah, at the time, we were slower than normal. So we were a big fan of this band that had nothing to do with dance music at all. And we wanted to bring it to the dance floor. We thought that if we were able to bring it to the dance floor, that it would have a dramatic impact. So I'd say one of the things that's important with the remix is to do something that not everyone else is doing. You don't just want to grab like a Taylor Swift song or some sort of pop song or something that's already way too popular, because what's going to happen is everyone that wants to do a remix, these are the first things they're going to go to. These are like the little low-hanging fruit that if everyone's doing it, then you don't really have a shot at someone being really interested in it. So, I mean, that's what being a DJ is, right? A DJ is able to find those gems, in the rough. That's what a real DJ does, digs through and finds these really beautiful tunes to share. If you're just playing the top 100 of any particular genre or whatever, then you're not really digging that hard. And I think the same thing can be said about remixes. All right. So the band that I wanted to share and my partner wanted to share with the dance floor was this ambient track called it's called Stefan G. Inglar by a band called Sigur Rós. All right. So no one had really attempted any mixes at the time, and a lot of people in the dance industry had never heard of Sigur Rós. So it was something that was really a good idea for us to try, I guess. So the song actually came together pretty quickly, but you got to realize back in the early 2000s, I was on a pretty shit computer, and I wasn't using Ableton yet. I was using a combination of FL Studio and a program called Acid. So we didn't have like warping where we're able to like warp a whole track like you can in Ableton now. So what I had to do was in a program called Acid, I had to break the song into like 26 different parts, so that I could stretch the loop to fit the BPM throughout the whole song. So yeah, you had to like cut it in a bunch of different places, and then each one of those sections you would stretch. So that's what I did. And then once they were stretched to a certain tempo, I brought it into FL Studio and we did the remix in there. And it took, from the point that I had done the edits, it took about 3 days to do. So what's the significance of doing this? Well, so what we had done is we had gone with this song and a couple other songs that were originals to the Winter Music Conference. I think it was like maybe 2002 or 2003 or something like that. It was a while back. And we only brought like 20 copies, and they were just burned copies, with our writing on it and stuff like that. We didn't like do anything fancy at all. We had friends that, had like created, like professional, like 1,000 professional CDs, and we're just handing them out to everyone and not really getting anywhere. But, we were very careful to who we were passing these things out to. And so we got them around at Winter Music Conference. I know Pete Tong got a copy, and we heard back that he liked it, but I never really heard much more about that. But we did get it out, and the first person that got back to us was this guy that went under the name Deep Sea. And you probably can find him under the collective electronic group Tigerhook Corporation. So he started playing our stuff, and he was a resident at London's Fabric. So our song, our remix started getting played at Fabric. And we also had a guy from Allen and Heath that we were friends with, and we handed a CD to him, and he passed it on to Hernan Cataneo. And Hernan ended up being a huge supporter and like making it go really, really worldwide for us. So from him, John Digweed ended up picking it up. There were a number of other people that picked it up. Let me see if I can find it here. I've got it somewhere here. So this guy had posted this song just like 2 years ago. I just found it now. And he knew the whole story about WMC, and there were only a few copies. So James Holden was a supporter, Hernan Cataneo, of course, Nick Warren, Dave Seaman, and then John Digweed got a hold of it. One of my favorite tech trance kind of DJs, Taylor, was a huge supporter of that track, and that led to a lot of these guys supporting our original tracks as well. So I'll tell you the story of that as well. And then also Sandra Collins was a supporter of this track. So it really went super big, much bigger than we could go with an original track. And it wasn't like properly released. It wasn't anything, that it was just us who knew nobody at all. And this kind of helped to catapult our name. And, guys like Hernan were mentioning our tracks, this remix first, but then other tracks in DJ Magazine, BPM Magazine. So we were starting to get a couple write-ups at the time as well. So I just wanted to share this story because it really demonstrates the power that a remix can have on your career. Sometimes doing like a bootleg or, a regular remix that gets signed, it can really change a lot of things for you. It can really connect you to bigger names. If I had just remixed some popular song that everyone else was doing, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but we presented something that sounded different. It was a very like ambient track that had, this guy uses like a bow on his guitar, so it had like this real expressive string, and the vocals are like really amazing. Band's from Iceland. So I wanted to share with you just a couple things that happened from that. So here. So this, let's see here. I'll bring this up real quick. So yeah, this guy, I just found this post of our track, which is really cool. I guess I won't be able to play it because it cuts out the microphone, so whatever. But yeah, so this was shared, and this guy obviously knew all these names that it was connected with. But let's go back. So here, once again, I was going to play this for you guys, but you won't hear it. But you can find this. Hernan Cataneo, this is him playing the song in 2009. That's like 5 years after he got it. And it had already become like a classic track for him. So he's playing at Creamfield in Buenos Aires. Really big gig. And what's really cool on this video is you could hear everyone already knows the song when it comes in just from the intro beat. So it's a really cool moment there that it kind of became a classic track for him. Also, he handed it off to John Digweed, and John Digweed played it at his New Year's Eve show in Los Angeles. And I was living near LA at the time, and I usually never missed a John Digweed show. And this one I didn't go to, and my phone just blew up when the song was played. Everyone was saying, "Your track's being played, your track's being played." And so that was really exciting. And then the next thing is John Digweed had Hernan Cataneo on his Kiss FM show. And and he played an original track. So there was another track that he probably would have never even listened to called Sidewinder. And once again, the artist name that we went under was Interstate, I-N-N-E-R, Interstate. So that was exciting to have that go on Radio 1. There's a remix there. Let's see if we've got anything else. Oh, that's right. So also another track that he supported, we had a friend of ours, Mike Horatska, who's a really great producer, remix our track Sidewinder because he had been playing it for about a year. So he needed something a little bit new, and he put it on his Renaissance Masters Series CD. So, there it is. It'll always be there among all these other great names on this. So that was exciting to me and us. And let's see, do I have anything else to share? I don't think so. Nope, that's just a Happy Mondays. So that is what can happen with a remix. So have you guys created any remixes? What are your experiences with them? Have you got them out to people? Have you done something? Are they bootleg remixes that you've done? Or have you only worked with stems, that sort of thing? I'm just kind of curious where you guys are at. So let me know, because I'm considering putting something together for remixes. And I just want to know if you guys are interested in using remixes to kind of help build your name, build your career, if you will, or whatever. Now, I'll just have you know that what happened, that many years ago, I mean, it doesn't necessarily influence what I do now, but I still have a great relationship with Hernan Cataneo and some other DJs and things like that. So just those connections are really great to have. He happens to be a really great guy, but I can send him new stuff now and he'll listen to it because he's familiar with the name and stuff like that. So that is one kind of way that you can kind of get yourself in the door, is just with doing remixes, but doing something that's original enough, something that wasn't necessarily made for the dance floor that you can bring. When you're able to bring something that's great and kind of has an underground cult following, right, and bring that to the dance audience, usually that can be a pretty interesting thing. It can be pretty successful. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys. That's the story that I wanted to share. I hope it doesn't sound braggy or anything like that. That's not really what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to share that, we went from nothing and no one having us to making 20 burned CDs, after making some songs on, our crappy Pentium 2 PC computer that crashed all the time, to kind of being in the ranks with some other really great artists that we respect. And I'm sure that that's something that a lot of you guys would like to experience, and maybe something that you guys don't think that you can experience now. Like, it doesn't seem realistic, but it happened for us. It does happen. And if that's something that you're interested in, comment below. Let me know what you've done. Have you written remixes? What kind of reaction did you get? And let's talk about it more. Let's get into this whole remix thing. And if you guys are interested, then I could share more about remixes and how I now approach remixes, and maybe I can tell you a little bit more about that track that was successful and some of the earlier tracks that I used to do. Once again, my style's changed quite a bit, like everyone does over the years when you're in electronic music, but it definitely helped kick things off for me. So I really just wanted to share that with you guys, because it took us from, once again, knowing no one, not having a whole lot of direction, to really getting off the ground. So that's the thing. One song is all it takes. One song is enough to do it if you're able to get, support. So there you have it, guys. That's all I wanted to share. I hope you got something out of this. And if you're watching this on the replay, still I'll be checking the comments and stuff like that. So let me know. Talk soon.